All right, let's be honest. Have you ever stared at one of those editing passages in an exam and just felt your brain freeze up? Yeah, you're not alone, but you're in the right place. Today, we're going to flip that script. We'll turn that tricky task into your secret weapon for a killer score. Let's dive in and master this thing together.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. That short paragraph just packed with these tiny hidden errors. It can feel like you're searching for a needle in a haystack, for sure. But what if I told you there's a simple, step-by-step way to tackle it? A method that makes spotting those mistakes feel almost automatic. Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down.
All right, first things first. Every good detective has to understand the case they're working on, right? So let's start by decoding exactly what this editing task is asking you to do. Think of this as your mission briefing. So, at its core, what is this thing? The editing passage is basically a test of your grammar accuracy and, honestly, your attention to detail. You're given a short piece of text, and your job is to put on your editor's hat and hunt down those pesky little errors.
So let's look at the rules of engagement here. We're not talking about editing a massive novel, thank goodness. It's just a short passage, usually around 5 to 8 sentences. Your focus is laser sharp on those numbered lines, where there will be one and only one error per line. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is twofold. First, spot the incorrect word, and second, provide the correct one. Simple as that. And hey, pay close attention to how the scoring works. You get half a mark for just identifying the mistake, which is great, but you only get that full mark when you provide the correct fix. It's kind of all or nothing for that full point, so being precise is absolutely key.
Okay, so now we know what the task is, but let's talk about the why. Why should you pour your energy into mastering this specific thing? Well, let's get into why this section is basically a goldmine for your final score.
I mean, it's a fair question, right? English grammar can feel, well, vast and totally overwhelming sometimes. So why are we zooming in on this one particular task? Is it really worth all the effort? I'm here to tell you the answer is a big, resounding yes. And here is the exact reason why, and this comes straight from our source material. This task is considered a sure shot scoring section. Just let that sink in for a second. Sure shot. It means that with the right strategy and a little bit of practice, these are marks you can practically guarantee. It's one of the most reliable ways to boost your overall score, and who doesn't want that?
All right, now for the main event. This is what you came for. We are giving you the keys to the kingdom, a 5-step method that will turn you into a full-fledged grammar detective. This isn't about wild guesses. It's a clear, repeatable strategy for success.
Let's walk through it together. Step 1 is absolutely crucial. Read the entire passage first. Seriously, don't start editing yet. This gives you the big picture, the overall context and tense, which is so important for making the right corrections. Okay, step 2, now you go back and analyze it, sentence by sentence. Step 3, use a mental checklist of the most common errors, and don't worry, we'll get to that next. Step 4, write down your correction. And finally, step 5, make sure your answer is clear and easy to read. See? Simple, right?
So, about that checklist I mentioned in step 3, what are the most common culprits you should be looking for? Think of this as your secret weapon. The good news is you don't need to memorize every single grammar rule in existence. You just need to know the most wanted list of offenders. Okay, so the first 5 clues on our checklist mostly deal with errors of agreement and form. We're talking about the classics, things like subject-verb agreement. Does the verb actually match the subject? Tense mistakes, like mixing up past and present. Incorrect articles, using a when it should be an. The wrong prepositions. And of course, mixing up plural and singular forms. Trust me, these fundamentals right here account for a huge chunk of all the errors you'll find.
Here's a perfect, everyday example of that subject-verb agreement thing. The team play well. Something sounds a little off, right? Team is a singular noun, so the verb needs that S at the end. It should be the team plays. It seems so simple, but I promise you it's one of the most frequently missed clues out there. And the rest of our top 10 often come down to errors of choice. So you'll want to keep an eye out for simple spelling mistakes. They happen. Or using the wrong form of a word, like beauty instead of beautiful. Then there's pronoun confusion, like using him when you mean he. You'll also see mistakes with those little auxiliary verbs, the helpers like can, will, or should. And finally, sentences that either have an extra word just thrown in there or are missing a word they really need.
Okay, you've got the method, you've got the checklist. Now, let's cover the final secrets that separate a good score from a perfect one. These are the little details that can make all the difference.
I know we've seen this before, but let's circle back to it one last time, because it is the single most important secret of them all. Spotting the error is only half the battle. To get that full mark, you must also write the correction. Don't leave those easy half points on the table.
So, here's the crucial point, and I really want this to sink in. You don't need to be a grammar genius. The examiners aren't trying to trick you with some obscure 100-year-old rule. The vast majority of errors will come from that 10-point checklist we just covered. Master those, and you've pretty much mastered the entire section.
And how do you master them? Simple. Practice. So here's your actionable goal. Don't just read about it, do it. Go find and complete at least 10, that's the magic number, 10 practice passages before your exam. This is what builds that muscle memory, making the whole process feel automatic when you're actually sitting there on test day.
And finally, please don't let sloppy presentation cost you precious marks. Just ask yourself, is my handwriting legible? Can someone actually read it? Did I use the correct capitalization? Is the punctuation right? These small details show the examiner you're a true professional. So there you have it, the mission, the method, and the secrets to success. That editing passage, it's not some monster to be feared. It's just a puzzle waiting to be solved. And now you have all the tools you need. So the only question left is, are you ready to go solve your first case?